Hello everybody, how are we doing? This is Alex Spence, self-realised renunciate monk, coming right at you, helping people navigate the unknown. 30-day meditation challenge. Hope we're well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're well. It's first thing in the morning here, and I hope you can sort of feel how peaceful it is, how lovely it is. This is Inner Strength Sunday. Always looking at sort of helping people's experience and like creating some more inner strength. I always think that's what inner growth's all about, especially when it comes to waking up. Especially when you can feel at your absolute weakest, when you're fatigued and wiped out, everything's falling apart. That's when you need your inner strength. That's when you need it. So today I wanted to talk about how all this experience of waking up and everything, how it can be impacted and impacted and enhanced. And it also coincides with my love for words. I have a fascination with language and words and the effect it has on us and how it can really impact our experience. I think this comes back to when I was trying to figure out sort of my attention deficit problem, when my mind was everywhere, and how it was impacting my physiology and how I was going through all this anyway. I was waking up and I was going through all this, let alone trying to figure out what was going on in my mind. It was a crazy time, let me tell you. And it all came down to having to sort of calm the experience down. That's what it was all about. So I wanted to settle my experience and have a better one. Basically, don't try and make this waking up just like a better experience and a less turbulent one. And one of the places I started was how words and how they impacted me, and which led on to a fascination with language and metaphors. And I'm following on from yesterday how I put that post up about we hold the paintbrush to our own reality. You yourself holds that paintbrush, no one else. It's either bright and colourful or dark and dingy, it's in very sort of black and white. That's, your reality is affected massively. It's all you. Everything's manifested from here. Yeah, my love for words, and your words that you use internally have such a massive impact on your experience and your waking up. I was having a conversation the other day with someone else who loves words and everything about it, and I was sort of saying about just for example of how this can impact someone and how they think, and just from how people define words in their heads and the stories that it can sort of follow on from and create. And I was explaining to him my view of the world and all the stuff that's going on, especially the natural phenomenon that's happening at the minute. God bless everyone. Just need to say that, everyone at the minute. But my view of the world is it's benign. It's a very benign standpoint. I do feel for everything that's going on, but I also have a massive air of detachment, because I know that me sitting in sort of wallowing and grief and these kind of feelings when it comes to do with what's happening in the world just affects me. It doesn't improve what's going on in the world. It won't make things better, me sitting around worrying about it, thinking about it, and and that's how I'd explain. That's how I would use. That's the word I'd use, is benign. And the guy that I was talking to about this, he was saying how his definition for benign was one of calmness and sort of say quite tranquil. And that already sets up the mind for its state and its condition and experience. And following on from a comment yesterday about mindfulness, I'd say mindfulness, I would start with what words I'm using internally, and then it's all then externally expressed as well. What words are creating your state that you're in? If you're going through massive crashes, what language are you using then? I know there's a common sort of term, like say when you go through an awakening period and when you have this series bouts of sort of isolation and wondering what's going on. It's called, like they call it, the dark night of the soul, and that sentence alone already tees you up for months of sort of suffering and a mental turmoil. If you keep telling yourself I'm going through the dark night of the soul, it's gonna prolong that. I think less labels the better, if I'm honest, because labels just create stories. And that's where it's only from my own experience of trying to sort of calm myself down and trying to regain some sort of balance that I really started to be aware of, like the actual words that I use internally, and almost like the fabric and texture of your mind. What do the words? What like, like what? Never mind what the word is and the connotations and like what comes from it. What's the texture of it? What's the tonality of that word? Is it said aggressively, or in a low state of sort of like a? Is it sped up? Is it really fast? And it always, and I'm going to end up repeating myself, but this is all the relationship with you. And the words you use. I just have a massive love for the English language now. And not even like the origins of words. Like Alan Watts talks about worry. About how like worry is like this, it's like modern human suffering. It's like the word worry comes from the Anglo-Saxon to choke. And it's like when you go through these like the extreme experiences that we're going through, the highs and the lows, and sort of like you go through moments when it is filled like that origin of that word is to choke, and you feel that. Say if you're having almost palpitations and rushes, and like the not good ones, if that makes sense. When you feel like it's an overwhelming we were talking about the other day. You can feel that sort of that choke. And all that sort of, you can build yourself up to that point of chokingness. You can feel like that panic attackness. All from your words and your head and mind, and just the way it's all spiraled up. I've been reading recently about, I Google some really strange stuff. This is sort of going on from this words thing that I'm talking about, but I've got a great way to vision how the mind is and where you are in the middle of all the chaos. The centre of a cyclone is 15% down to the outside. The centre of a storm has cylinder walls, and in the centre it's calm. And I think of like now when everything's going on or anything, that's just what a great way to vision where you are when everything's going on. Sitting on a chair with the cylinder walls of the storm going around you and everything being sort of pulled up and ripped up. that metaphor and analogy is very current with what's going on in the world. And it's really hard to, the people have been affected by that. Just going back onto that. Much love to them. And that's why I'd look at that sort of situation. I wouldn't sit around in worry and grief. You send love to those people. You don't have to donate any money, or like, if you don't have any money. You sitting there just sending love to them is probably the most profound thing you can do. But this is Inner Strength Sunday. Soften the tone down. You know, even I can be upbeat and not, you know, just all like, I'm sometimes very out there in my videos, but then it's always like it's always good to sort of return back and just, you know, and just breathe it in. So yeah, this week just sort of like, yeah, really look at one word and where it goes. It's just fascinating stuff. I found it like really fascinating. You know, just really beautiful. The English language is just whatever language you use to communicate with yourself, just look at how it's made up. Look, like the texture and fabric of it. Okay, so I'm going to leave this now. I was saying, this is Alex Spence, self-realised renunciate monk, coming right at you. Give us a hug, helping people navigate the unknown. 30-day meditation challenge is coming up. Look to get involved. Talk about that collective energy and thought processes going off. And just breathe it in, just, how nice, huh? Okay guys, peace out, much love. See you all tomorrow when I'm going to be involving all of you. It's going to be less of me and more of you. And just checking everyone's experience and where they're at and what they're doing. And how they're feeling in the right here, right now. Okay guys, much love and peace out and have a great day.